Welcome to the Offspace podcast. It's your host with the motherfucking most that seems to get better looking every episode somehow, Chuka Offer.
And it's your favorite co-host tolerating this guy's bullshit for yet another fucking week.
And to be completely honest with you, it's just like I want to take a second in this podcast so we can take a moment of silence so we can thank God. Thank God for being blessed.
I'm not doing I want to see how this goes because I might not participate in your moment of silence.
Amen. Alrighty.
There it was.
And so, getting right into it, how was your week?
My week's been phenomenal, y'all. I'm not going to lie. So, if you keep up with the podcast and you keep up with us on socials like you should at Offspace Podcast on Instagram and Twitter.
The Offspace.
You would know that recently I built a new PC.
Uh-oh.
And you know what that PC's done for my life?
Uh-oh.
Your boy's streaming now.
Uh-oh. So shameless plug.
I'm going to say this. It's been a lot, especially on like all the endeavors we're doing now. But it's one of those things that I'm doing, at least personally, that I'm super happy about. And whenever I'm doing it, doesn't necessarily feel like work. All the little things going into it and trying to, turn it into something. So it's been stressful, but not stressful. It's been a lot, but it's been great. So this week's been going great for me personally. And I'm hoping that I'm going to have many more after as such.
Yes,
how about you?
Sir, Ski. Yes, sir. Well,
just when he lets out the laugh without any words, it's about to be some crazy shit.
No, there's no crazy shit at all. To be completely honest with you, this has been a really good week. I mean, it's been like a weird week of mental ups and downs. But like towards the latter end of the week, I ended up having probably one of the best mental periods I've had in a while. And I just feel outstanding. I mean, even through the ups and downs, I was feeling good because, bro, I almost did something that I know you would flame me for. I know you would flame me for, but it was a sign, bro.
It was a sign for you to ease off?
No.
It was not take the bait.
It was a sign for the good times to come. The good times to come.
What was it? Because now I'm really at a loss. Usually I can kind of clock what you're talking about, but I have no clue right now.
All right. Let me give y'all a little game. Let me put y'all on game a little bit, all right? The shorties that have the fire on Twitter, a lot of the times be the astrology shorties, right? And so I see some astrology retweets all the time, whatever. And I don't pay attention except for I'm a little bit self-absorbed, like we could tell. So I'm a Capricorn. I like to see Capricorn stuff, whatever. So sometimes I'll just read it. I'll be like, ooh, and then I'll keep going.
So
you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, ooh, that's me. And then just keep it pushing.
We all do the same.
Of course. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't pay attention, in our 20s, you're all at least cognizant of your sign, right? Yeah. You all at least know what it is. And sometimes you'll see some shit, you'll read it. I saw some Capricorn thing, and we could call it as typical as it wants to be, whatever, but it was like, the storm you've weathered for so long is coming to an end. Good times on the horizon. And then, bro, I feel like I've been in a storm for a second. I was like, ooh, good times. And then I started feeling good, and I've just been happy ever since. So, I mean, fuck it. Like, I don't give too much credence to it, but I'm just going to use that fucking, like, really blanket statement as a good sign for me, and I'm happy.
Do you think that reading that subconsciously put the switch in your head?
It might be placebo.
It might be about to have a great time, and you let yourself have a good time?
Oh, for sure. And then we ended up, I went out with my dog, my roommate on Friday. We went out a little bit, just danced, had a good time, like whatever. Like we hung out with a friend of ours that we didn't see. A friend of ours that we hadn't seen for like a couple weeks, and he wanted us to come see him. And we're all safe. We were wearing masks to these things. So once again, if you want to know some of these views as well, though, check out our Reflection Room episode 2, where Esgo talks about normalcy in the pandemic. That's on YouTube Live right now.
Go ahead and check it out. I don't think there's going to be anything in there that y'all are about to flame me for. But at the end of the day, if you want to flame me for being myself and talking about what I believe in, feel free to. And let's have a talk. Let's have a discussion. So go ahead and leave comments on it, too, because I really want to know what y'all think on this subject, too.
Exactly. Yeah. And just so using that on Saturday, one of our dogs my friend Scott invited us to like a little small rooftop, very private, like it was little DJ set that his friend was having. So it was once again you can do shit that's normal. You just have to be in like small, like safe settings.
Shit, it was hard for us to get in there.
Like what? Like what the fucking
And it's
list?
our friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I was so confused. You should have saw me at the door. I was so blown. I was like, bro, these are my friends. But anyways, it was pretty seamless after that. We got up there, we enjoyed ourselves, we all danced, enjoyed, had a good
I never
time.
thought I'd turn up like that to EDM. Personally, it's just never been my thing, but
I love it.
I feel like it's just the vibe and whatever you create from the people that you're around. And we're all very good energy people who are down to have a good time, no matter what the setting is. So I feel like that played in. And they all love that stuff anyway. So.
Exactly. It's their favorite genre, but it's like I had a period where I was obsessed with it, and I went to a lot of festivals, went to a lot of EDM shows like years back. And I love, like, one of the things that I really do fuck with about how much they enjoy that music is it's reminiscent of those good times for me, and I get put on to new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of left that world. Like for myself personally, it just kind of phased out for me, but it's kind of like re-brought up a love. I've started looking up DJs again. I've started like watching live sets, getting excited for some of the stuff. Like once the world really, really opens up, I think I'm excited to go to sets at like festivals and things like that and get weird. Like I'm happy to get weird with the people. I don't know if I'm gonna be on as many drugs as a lot of them niggas is on. Not saying my friends, but just like the people at
people
those
in general. I think that's the only way you make it through 3 days.
Oh, for sure.
Because not saying like you get tired of the music, but shit, dancing like that is tiring.
Let's go. But you know me. You know
That's
me.
fun.
We've gotten into this before about like the nature versus like bougie and like whatever, bro. I would have the bougiest festival experience ever, bro. I'm at that festival for 8 to 12 hours maximum. Everyone's like, all right, it's time to go camping, time to enjoy. I'm like, sweet. I'm gonna be at the B&B.
He's like,
I'll be back tomorrow though after a good shower, after a good meal, like after I definitely slept in a nice bed. Like I'm never doing the camp out shit with y'all niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because
like,
it never stops.
Like that, it never stops. And I just can't. I'm not that old, truly. Like I act like an old man sometimes, but I truly can't keep up with that anymore.
I feel like you say you can't keep up with that anymore, but you like, because I've been going out with like you and like older people and stuff for the most part
since you were 21.
Yeah, and
even earlier,
younger, like 19, 20. So you were at the point where you were like 21, 22 for some of these things, 22, 23, and you were already like, all right, you know what? Just you as a person, I need a break.
Bro,
I need to make sure I'm taking care of a certain way. And it's not even like a bad tip. It's just sometimes that's who people are.
And even then, it just goes into kind of, because I know a lot of people like that I used to be raging with and things like that. It's like, it's like just like the town we grew up in, we started things a little early, right?
Yeah.
Just because of very fortunate circumstances. A lot of these people had money. A lot of these people's parents were gone for like, you know, business trips or like.
In your experience.
In my experience, yeah. So I would go to these people's houses and we would be having ragers at like 14, 15. You feel me? Like I've been getting blackout drunk for so long that I don't have the endurance, mate. I don't got the facilities for that one, big man. Like it's been over a decade now.
It feels like Wayne Rooney stepping onto the pitch, like in his older years. Like I'm not supposed to be here.
I feel like a 40-year-old Wayne Rooney for sure, trying to compete compete in the EPO. Seeing these young people still be able to do this like 3-4 days in a row. Like dog, going on beach trips and like spring breaks and shit like that now. Like, and I don't even call them spring breaks because now we're adults. They're just vacations. We're going on vacations with people for like 4 or 5 days or whatever, and then we try to do like the drink thing, yo, let's turn up. Dog, that lasts like day 1. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe make it to day like 2. And then you're chilling and everyone turns up at specific hours again. The all day rage is over with, bro. Like at the end of the day,
I feel like the all day rage was fun for a point, but there was like a point in time where I realized making the switch, because to be honest, I feel like where I am right now, I'm 23 years old, and this is usually the point where people really can't do that anymore. In me personally, I could still keep it up all day and just be on a certain tip. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just like blessed in a certain way. That might be a curse too. But I very much enjoy. You can call Cap while you. Hey, so what's that?
Hold on. I think Gavin's calling.
What do you say?
Gavin, I smell Cap. I smell Cap. I smell Cap.
It's bullshit, bro. It's like, why would you want to when you can definitely set aside hours to go hard and then time to just relax? Because it's finding that balance that makes the perfect vacation, and for me personally.
No, for sure. But other than that and just being free, kind of just like getting into a little bit feeling normal for a second, you know, like with dancing and like being like on rooftops again, like with people and like shit like that. It felt nice. So I'm just happy I've just been happy, dog, just being real. I've just been happy. I've just been being myself. And I don't know. I felt like I suppressed like the dancey, happy-go-lucky dude for like years. Like when I was in my relationship and even a little bit prior, like I feel like I was, and a little bit afterwards, really, because I feel like I kind of started focusing on all the wrong things in life. But once I let myself really work, because that's something that we all say, like people talk all the time about, I'm working on myself. You know, I have 47 different therapists, or I've gone to like 8 mountains and like sat in this, I've met these monks, blah, blah, blah. No, until you really identify the issues, right? And until you're really to look yourself in the mirror and accept all the fucked up things about you, accept all the good things about you, whatever, like you never actually push forward, no matter how much money you spend and no matter how many resources you get into. And so like once you get to that point in life where you're really ready to go, right? It just becomes like you're unlocking like different levels of yourself you never knew existed. You just become so much happier in you, you know, like your personality, your looks, like
because you're also learning again who you are, and not just like learning, but you're remembering. Because I feel like a lot of it was just already who you were, you know, but past a certain age, that's usually about 17, 18 for however so long. Some people forever afterwards.
Forget.
Yeah, they forget who they were and they just start to be who they think they should be. And so, I mean, just staying true to who you are, you always have the most fun in life.
It's pressures, and it's just like the unnecessary pressure we put on ourselves. Because I mean, like really thinking about it, a lot of the times you think like, yo, I have to be the hard man, pause, or like, yo, I have to be like the tough guy. I have to like, I gotta look cool at all times. I know that was my whole thing, right? Like one of the things for me, and I know this because I still had like the happy-go-lucky like before like my past situation. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I feel like there was a point where I got like dark and just like down, right? Like with like the depression, but I didn't like handle it in the right way. I started to look into remedies, right? I started to look into things that were going to help fix it, right? Rather than looking at like what was really causing this shit and like what were the real issues that I needed to look at. And so like I spoke to therapists, like I would, and don't get me wrong, I still think therapy is something everybody needs, but therapy works so much better, baby, like when you know what I'm saying, versus like traveling through what you don't know. But I mean, so therapists, like work out, did all the things that I was supposed to do, but it didn't solve shit. But and I was always in a mode of like trying to be this image of like the cool guy, all right, the cool guy. But then I realized like, bro, the thing that has kept me as like always one of the coolest motherfuckers my whole life is just like living by my life motto of do what you want. It's like if I'm the only person in 48 trillion people dancing, I'm gonna dance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like rapping, singing, like joking with people, fucking with people, laughter, love, hugs, jokes. Like
and you see the energy it attracts. Like
you don't have to be cool at all times, because what is cool? You know what I'm saying?
I think the cool is literally knowing who you are and being it to the fullest. Because to be fair, not everyone, and might have talked about this on a podcast or just off of it, but it's like you identify two individuals who I think are cool people in their own way. You identify like a Lil Baby, right? And so Lil Baby is just like this kind of dude who his swaggers like a certain way. He's cold, like street, whatever. Like he just carries himself a certain type of way, and that's cool. But then you get like a person like on a direct parallel, like a Timothy Chalamet or something. Two complete opposite individuals, but you feel like they're cool in their own way, but they're being true to who they are. So it's just like tapping into that and just riding your wave, because as soon as you try and be somebody else, like if I was to step out of this door today, step out of this room, step off of this podcast and decide that tomorrow I am Jason Tatum, nothing would go right for me.
Because you're not, bro.
Exactly.
You got to accept all the shit about you. We all got corny shit about us. We all got dope things about us. We all got this. We all got that. And everything that you speak of, all of those things we think of about ourselves, like makes you in totality. And that's the beautiful part of life. But not to continue down this tangent too long, like definitely, oh my goodness, that was definitely a good one, my boy. Let's get straight into music and just start us off with heat checks for the week.
Sure. My heat check this week actually dropped about like 2 weeks ago, give or take like a day or two. But it's a song that I feel like is relevant right now because we're going to end up, it's great and I've been listening to it on its lonesome. But we're going to end up speaking a little bit more about this individual in a different way a little bit later on in the podcast. For sure. So the song is Gifted by Cordae featuring Roddy Ricch. And I mean, it's one of those songs like, you know, I feel like it's a radio hit, but it's coming from a person who isn't giving you a specific type of radio hit. It's like the younger generation's J. Cole, who is probably going to fill that shoe. in a way, I feel it.
Nah, he's the younger generation's Cordae, dude.
Exactly, man. He's his own dude. Fuck all these people. Cordae, you keep being you, man.
I'm making it an Esgo meme because this nigga, I'll always try to give Esgo the coolest compliments. But I love it, don't get me wrong, because once again, always being himself 100%. I'll be like, yo, Esgo, bro, you're like Braun. He'll be like, man, all respect to Braun, but I'm like me.
I'm me. I never said shit like that, but I did say those words at some point.
For sure.
Not in that tone, though. Not in that tone. Definitely not in that tone. Man, trying to make me sound like Urkel talking about how I'm me.
That's funny as shit. But shouts out to Cordae and Roddy. That song goes hard. And I fuck with the music video a lot.
Music videos just elevate shit so hard, man.
For sure.
I feel like that's when I really started fucking with the song and I started giving it the serious plays again.
And we'll talk about music videos elevating shit in a second. But let me drop, because we do have a good tangent off of that. So hold on to that. But my heat check for this week, and I'm actually going to... Oh, there's so many. There were so many songs I really fucked with this week, but let me be professional.
I already know who it's going to be.
And I'm going to say that my heat check this week is going to be Baptize by Spillage Village.
That's not what I expected. I thought it was going to be an NBA YoungBoy song.
No. That whole album should be a heat check, but I'm not going to do that because every time I've done the whole album for the heat check, for the most part, we were in agreement. And this nigga Esgo, I won't say he's an NBA YoungBoy hater, but NBA YoungBoy somehow doesn't make music for him. And so
you say that like he makes universal shit. Like
outstanding.
He makes music for a certain audience.
No, he makes universal music. Those numbers are universal.
Nah, they're the same people giving the plays. There's nothing wrong with the core fans that will play your shit 100 times. I'm just not one of them.
But Spillage Village dropped a 2-pack this week that comes from their upcoming album. If you do not know, Spillage Village is like the independent label under Dreamville, but it's Earth Gang, I believe, and I could be just so wrong with this information. I apologize, but I believe it's their label. Mm-hmm. But it's like Earth Gang, JID, Mariba, and a few other acts that they have under that umbrella. Mariba, and it's just a grouping of friends, right?
List them all? List them all?
Yeah, go hard.
All right. JID, Hollywood JB, Dr. Dots, Mariba, Jordan Bryant, and Johnny Venus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, shouts out to Z.
Shouts out to Z, Spike Z. Producing. But they released 2 songs, Baptize and End of Days. And I just thought they were both nice. I always get excited for Spillage Village projects for the sheer fact of hearing Earth Gang and JID on songs together. That's always going to be something that makes my day. So
he really could have been. He could have been the extra member.
For sure.
I feel like they play in so well together that it's almost seamless, but...
It's definitely how they came up too, though, because they definitely came up in one of those, like, classic hip-hop stories of, like, people that, like, when they weren't, like, that known, like, just lived together and, like, vibed and made music all the time. But, so once again, the album is going to be called Spillagian. It's by Spillage Village, and shouts out to all of them niggas. Big shouts out to JID and Earth Gang, though. And so moving right along into what you were talking about, before we get into some of the new drops of the week, because this is more primarily of a week of stuff I've listened to, because it wasn't stuff that probably piqued your interest as highly.
Nah, this was a week that was a sleeper for me, and not in like a bad way. Again, like I don't want to disrespect any of these artists. I know I don't have to preface that and like, dance around, but to be honest, because I'm not trying to, if I don't like something, I'll let y'all know I don't like it. Chuka's forced me to listen to many NBA YoungBoy songs at this point, so it's not, I really don't mind his music. It just wasn't for me, but this song that I think we're about to get into.
Oh yeah, we didn't
speak the highest about it.
We have to walk back an opinion because of how a music video elevated a song and it made you look at it in a different way, and you come back to it and this song kind of slapped. The song kind of slapped, and that is Pop Star by Drake. Pop Star by DJ Khaled featuring Drake. Yeah. And so
might as well
And so get into the music video a little bit.
I'm going to say this. When I first heard the song and I was listening to it, it felt like nothing really made sense and it was all not adding up. I wasn't really catching the flow the way I think I was supposed to. It sounded like the beat was made for something that was going to be a lot more hype, a lot more crazy, whatever. And so I thought Drake just missed it. I thought he was not on the same page as DJ Khaled. I thought DJ Khaled sent him another beat. Drake gave him a verse or two, and then they threw it on the wrong song. I thought something got fucked up somewhere in translation. However, watching the video, I understand now because it was supposed to be on a lot more of like a up, but like cool, calm, and collected. Like, this is regular, this is me vibe. Because watching that shit and hearing it out, it was so cold. Shouts out to whoever ended up directing it. They did a phenomenal job, and I love that style of video where the camera kind of follows somebody as they're like going through I guess, the day, or going through like different actions of what they're like doing throughout the day or doing throughout like whatever. And Justin Bieber killed that shit. Genuinely. I think he killed it.
Yes, sir. Bieber went so crazy in the video, and it was good for me just because his last album kind of fell flat in terms of just like people's expectations. I thought it was a straight album, like through like a single listen through, but just like
it didn't have replay value.
No replay value. I never went back. But it's good, because one, that's a very talented person in the first place. Mm-hmm. So he's always going to stick around. He's a level of megastar that's never going to disappear. But two, it's just like cultural appropriation, Bieber always leads to the most fire music. And so if we keep him on the same tip, keep him on the Drakes, the DJ Khaled's, like the people that are always going to call Bieber favorite.
I need the Bieber favorite.
I know the music is going to keep elevating and stay around. So as long as he has the swagger of kind of trying to be like black people, I'm waiting.
I think he recently did something on Instagram or something social wise where he was hinting towards something in like a certain amount of days, maybe it was like 10 days or something, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think, and this is what the people want, but I think we might be getting R&B Bieber. And if we are, it's about to be hot. All right, because this shit was kind of cold already. I'm here for it. The swagger's there. Let's have a good time.
Guess I got my swagger back.
Yeah.
Sorry. Wow.
What kind of R&B music are you about to make, though, when you're happily married?
You got to tell your wife that I need to, like, this is what I need Bieber to do, low key. I need him to look at his wife, the one he loves with all his heart, and say, you can't press play on my next album. Because I'm making
airing out everything.
I'm making cheater music. Because cheater music is low key the best R&B. Low key the best R&B. The niggas that know that they fucked up, or they don't give a fuck that they fucked up, because now we have the Brent Faiyazes that leave you with like the toxic cheater music. I love it.
It's the ones that's like, I'm
and
not
the thing
shit.
Is, I'm not even like that.
It's the music that says
fire.
Like, I'm not shit, but I know it.
Or no, okay.
I'm not shit, but I know it.
I ain't shit, but I know it. And you know what? Like, we're all young men. At the end of the day, young men are all a little bit ain't shit, even if they don't want to believe they are.
On my honor.
And stop it, bro. Like, stop it, bro. This
I'm not going to lie. I feel like we already talked about this on the last episode, funny enough, with Gavin, which we did have a segment talking about different things that we did toxic that we didn't know, like, when we were younger. But everybody is a little bit like while you're young.
Exactly.
Some a lot bit.
And some stay their whole lives because they're not willing to be self-aware, accept these things, work on them, and change. That being said, shouts out to Bieber, shouts out to Drake, shouts out to the whole crew. Pop Star's a vibe now. I'm gonna run through like the new music releases real quick, just so people can at least get a viewing from what I've listened to this week. There was a couple suggestions from music that I just did not know myself, so I'm sorry if I pronounce this artist's name wrong. I'm just gonna actually spell it out, but LXST. The album is called No Love Lost. I think it's Blast, but I mean, like, once again, I have no fucking clue, so I want to be honest, because I just started listening to this man's music. His whole album, fire. Like, that whole album, outstanding. Like, that was probably one of the better things I listened to this week, like, the whole project, just from what, like, my mood's been recently.
What kind of a tip was it? Like, because if people probably don't know, like,
well, hip-hop rap is what they're going to always classify it as, but
is he black?
Yeah, okay. But it falls more under like the R&B rap that people be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the melodic, like these niggas can sing, but they rap at the same time.
We got to make a whole new genre for it, because I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't feel like any of these.
Bro. I've been saying this. Hip hop is now rock. Yeah. Like, hip hop is the biggest, most diverse genre on the planet. It's not like we have 3,000 subsects of rock. Like hip hop should have like 3,000 categories.
I mean, I don't want to say fuck rock, but like, look at what EDM and people are doing. Mm-hmm. They have like so many different like subgenres of like EDM. You have like your house music, your like dubstep shit. You have like, I'm not gonna be able to name all these because that's not my genre. But like, friends tell me, and I hear like all these different kind of like trance, like. You have so many different things. Rap needs to kind of adopt this.
But it's not even just like, because rap has adopted it. Rap, the hip hop community, we have adopted it, and we already come into our own subsections of this hip hop music. What needs to make this into the public eye more are the people that recognize music. And unfortunately, the people that recognize music are the same old white people that have always been kind of the gatekeepers of this shit. So when it comes to genres, like when it comes to award shows, you see people that I've been passionate about speaking like this, that drop whole ass pop albums that won't be put in the pop music category, but will be put in the popular music category, right? Or will be put with hip hop, rap, or R&B, and it's a pop fucking album. You know what I'm saying? Because they want it to be pop stars, like their heroes, like a Michael Jackson, like a this, like a that. But that's reserved for people that just have hip hop elements in their songs.
The Weeknd,
you know, like what the fuck, like Ariana Grande, like she has so many R&B and hip hop elements in her music, but she's allowed to be called a pop star. But SZA, who would come out and say her album is pop, isn't allowed to be a pop star. She made a pop album, and it was the best album of the last 5 years. And so, my personal opinion.
But it's definitely up there for me too.
But anyways, continuing, if you want some of that gutter shit, not necessarily on some.
I gotta pause you for a second. Did you see what people were talking about when the SZA music was dropping and shit? They were talking about the substitute teacher can go home, talking about Summer Walker. And I felt so bad, bro.
Bro, it's because they always like to put these girls into one little category, bro. Like, they, like, even fucking, I know they joke about it on the Joe podcast or whatever, but I've heard them say some shit like, the whisper singers, like they said Janae is like the queen of the whisper singers, and like Summer Walkers and like the whatevers. But I mean, like, I get that, and like people will put them on categories together, but bro, I promise you, and this isn't echoing their opinions at all. This is just us like saying exactly how we would feel about.
I think Summer
like
Walker low key on top of that shit, bro. Besides the SZA,
it's not, bro. It's just like, I know we agree with this, but no, I think SZA on top there. Besides SZA, I'd have to think. I'd have to sit there and think, because there's a lot of women making those great singing songs like that. But it's like, it's okay for them all to exist, y'all. Like, that's one thing I hate with Twitter. Like, the second someone does something, you instantly throw people for, you don't have to only have one or the other. Bro, like, I promise we can all have a bunch of fine music.
They love doing it with the NBA too. Anytime there's one player that shows up slightly better than someone else, it's like, what the fuck is
trash?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's trash all of a sudden.
Paul George trash because he dropped 30, and Jokic dropped 35. No, they're both fire players.
I bet.
You know what I'm saying? But anyways, Conway dropped his album. For anyone that likes like gutter New York raps, I know. But I love Griselda, and I'm always going to talk about Griselda's music. And Kanye's album,
go hard.
Conway's album was outstanding, top to bottom. I'm so happy for him, especially like the way that, one thing that bothered me, and it's something he can't help, of course, because he did get shot in the face and half of his face got paralyzed. But you could really hear it in his music, like sometimes, like really, really hear it in his recording, because obviously your face is paralyzed. But it seems like in his practice and in his work with hip hop, he's gotten better at being clearer regardless, right? And it's going to take work and practice, of course, to be able to get, I mean, bro, like, I've never done some shit like that. You feel me? Like, nigga, I get too stoned and then be sad about trying to rap through Cottonmouth. I couldn't imagine rapping through fucking something like that. So the fact that it seems like he's kind of gotten to the point where he's gotten it down to a T, and this was early why I wasn't on Conway super early, because I heard about Conway years ago. At least Conway himself, not Benny. Benny I'm new to with the Griselda team and Westside. But Conway I heard about a long time ago. But recently his music sounds so crispy and so clean to me. And I know, like, with money and better recording quality and with practice as well, he seems to have come into his own on this album. So I definitely think y'all should all go take a look if you like rappy raps. It's called From King to a God by Conway the Machine.
Was there a standout song?
My favorite song
to leave the people off with, to go ahead and listen to first.
I changed too much, but Lemon is one of them for sure. Method Man went crazy; he went off on there, and then Spurs 3 because I love the Benny verse. But really, I'm going to change that to Forever Dropping Tears featuring El Camino, just because I'm always happy to hear from El Camino.
Bet y'all heard it here first. Go ahead and check those out if you want to go ahead and give Conway a listen to, and you never have. And
then the biggest album that dropped this week, #1 next week, no big deal, whatever.
I bet.
But Youngboy never broke again. NBA Youngboy, he dropped his project Top, and he very so clearly copied Roddy Ricch's album cover, but that's okay because of the fact that every single time I'm always looking at an artist like, man, you copied something. Like a fire artist, right? I'll give you all the other instance of this too, which I've said on the podcast episodes prior, but I'll say it again after this. But I want to listen to the music first and see it, man. If you're going to copy that nigga's album or
don't copy the music.
Like, bro, I'm saying, like, that Roddy album was outstanding, so you better put out an outstanding album. And then Youngboy gave us his best project yet. I love it. I love it. Top to bottom. Fire.
That's
And
good.
my
That's
favorite
good.
kind of young boy is aggressive, like make you want to slap the first person next to you, young boy.
Don't
And
play him right now. Don't play him right now, then. We're gonna have problems on this podcast.
And so I looked at Ezgo directly. I was like, slap the person next to you, music.
So I slapped this
And
man
so-
once, all of a sudden he wants to fight me.
For sure. But then my favorite songs are Dead Trolls and probably Murder Business.
Okay.
Murder Business and Dead Trolls are probably my favorite ones on there. But everyone goes crazy.
Shit.
Casey Talk goes stupid. All in stupid. I don't want to name the whole album because it all goes stupid.
Dog,
Like, it
when I
all
was
does.
looking at your phone and you were in the projects, for some reason I was like, why did you just download Roddy's album? No bullshit.
I told
thought-
you.
why
Have
did
you not
you-
seen the cover? Look at the cover, bro. Same shit. This nigga even have the same pose, bro.
Wow, he bit that completely. That's crazy.
The last time I got mad at something like this, though, well, a little eyebrow raise for artists that I like.
It's like that little emoji.
Was Young Thug calling his shit the Barter Six because the Carter Six couldn't come out, and then the Barter Six was one of the hardest things I've ever heard in my life. I became the biggest Thug fan ever, bro.
The Barter 6 was so fire after he clearly did that shit that Lil Wayne couldn't say anything. He had to just accept it and run with it and move on.
I know Wayne was bumping the Barter Six. Even though Wayne don't even listen to nobody.
He listened to Young Thug.
That shit was so crazy.
I promise
know
he
it.
listened to Young Thug.
Of course he did. A young nigga signed by his OG that says that his whole inspiration is him. You could say you don't listen to
And was
anybody.
that
I know
popular?
he was listening to Young Thug. Come on now. Even though
Somebody probably made him to at first, and then once they did,
no one can
he
make
was
Wayne do
look.
anything. This nigga hasn't heard about so many popular people right now.
Nah, bro.
So many popular
Somebody
people.
was in the car with him. Finally, they're like, "Dog, I don't give a fuck at this point," and they just started playing it. His Uber started playing it.
Oh yeah, and one big shout out that I wanted to make sure and say, and once again, I don't know the timestamp because I'm weird with this GarageBand thing, but I'll make sure to tag him in the promo video on Instagram. Is big shout out to my dog Braxton, Off the Porch Kitchen, Off the Porch Chefs. Like that's the best personal chef you'll have in Atlanta, and I don't even
If
say
y'all
I
are
don't
in the Metro Atlanta area, for sure.
And I don't even say that like on some boosting shit because I support all of my friends and their businesses and the things that they do truly.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean like my friends that actually have talent in what they do, they probably get more props out loud because I'm an honest person. If I bring something in that I want to tell people about, it's a product that I use, right? Or would use.
Yeah.
And I've bought Braxton's food and I bought a lot of Instagram chefs food because I love it's primarily Black people and I like supporting local Black business.
Yeah.
But B, I just like seeing like different flavors. Like at the end of the day, I love cooking myself. And so a lot of these IG chefs be Captain Planets. Like you be paying the premium for some stuff that is super mid. Some of them have fire though, but this nigga can cook his ass off. Like he has some of the best macaroni and cheese I've ever had in my life. It competes. I'm not gonna lie, and on God and everything, his fucking lobster mac and cheese we had,
The crab
crab mac and cheese was the only mac and cheese I've ever had that compares to my mom's. If not, like it might be up there. I don't want to be preemptive, but it was crazy.
Genuinely speaking, I'm not gonna lie because I only had the side, and I know he does a lot of great dishes with exquisite main courses too, like and like main pieces to them. But off the strength of just that crab mac and cheese itself, I was sold. I hate paying that much for food on like just a casual tip, but that's the kind of person that, to be fair, I'd open up the wallet and it's like, you got my money, you got my business. You can't deny greatness.
And he's got merch too. Like that's why I always rep the hats because once again, I'm never gonna lie to my friends. Like I'm gonna give you advice if you want advice from me or if you want real criticism from me. And if you want, but if you give me a product I actually enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's getting spins in my phone. Y'all have heard me talk about Heem all the time on here. Y'all have heard me talk about Player all the time on here. Like people that I really grew up with that make fire music. And I can just keep going on when we go into producers, etc. But that's not their time right now. We're talking about Braxton. And when it comes into his cooking, like he showed me the hats. I was like, word, my head's already a weird big ass head. Let me throw it on and let's see what's up. Instantly, I like the fit. I was like, oh, this nigga got multiple products I fuck with. I gotta support my nigga. And so, once again, shout out to Off the Porch Kitchen. We'll make sure to tag that in the video as well. But that being said, we're just wrapping up the music with the Young Boy album and the Spillage Village drop. There wasn't many a new thing. There was a lot of singles that came out, but one single I wanted to talk about just because I got excited. Speaking of Thug, hearing T.I. and Thug on a song again. It's called Ring. It's pretty good. It's kind of lukewarm for what I expected, only because the last time we had a single and it was T.I. featuring Young Thug, if it ain't about the money, took over the United States. So sometimes you set astronomical standards for certain things, but it wasn't a bad song at all. So definitely go check out Ring if you have the time to listen, of course. And so moving right along to probably the most important part of the music section this week, or not most important part of the music, probably the most important part of this podcast to me personally. I wanted us to highlight the fact that we just passed, on this past Monday's, the 2-year anniversary of the passing of Malcolm McCormick, aka Mac Miller. We wanted to show love. We wanted to say R.I.P. We wanted to say his dreams are still alive, and we wanted to celebrate the memory of Mac Miller. And I wanted to just have a little moment for you and me to both give, just like whether it be a little story or whether it be just something that went along with his music for you. And just like an instant thought, like Mac Miller and me.
Okay. For me, and again, if y'all have listened to the podcast, you might have heard this. I don't know how much we've already talked about. So sometimes you're going to hear recurring stories, or maybe they aren't. But yeah, I just remember moving to Coweta County and being in a place that I did not want to be in at fucking all. And, you know, trying to make the best of a bad situation for me as a young kid at the time. And finding a good group of friends that I ended up spending a lot of time with, whether we were playing basketball or playing Call of Duty, because I know that's what the big shit was at the time. Shout out to everyone who really understands those Black Ops days, those zombies days. We were running and doing numbers on the zombies, round 30-something guaranteed.
These niggas were addicted for real.
Oh my goodness. No, that was different. And I just remember a lot of the fond memories at a bad time because I'd never really wanted to be in this place. Mac Miller was the soundtrack to a lot of those occasions. So whether it be hooping with friends in the neighborhood, whether it be cutting up playing Call of Duty, and I got to be that one person that's playing music in the background, you know, and no one wants to have that guy. They're like, dude, mute your fucking mic. No one ever told me to mute my shit when it was him, you know. Funny enough, and that's just a testament to how much everyone liked him. And just being able to kind of have him be a soundtrack to, I know, us as a generation at such an early age carried forth throughout the rest of that middle school year, throughout high school, throughout early college, listening. And one of my fond memories enough too, being a freshman at Kennesaw State University. And every time, you know how it is when you go to college and when you're a freshman and all this. At the end of the day, no one's trying to take Friday classes. So I never took Friday classes. Every Thursday after we get out of classes, after Good AM dropped, it'd be like, you know, you step back into the dorms and all the boys are there, throw off the bag, and then all of a sudden you hear Weekend playing, and it's like, let's get it, let's have fun.
These niggas.
I'll be good by the weekend. So shouts out to that, and R.I.P. Malcolm.
And I just remember, like, big R.I.P. Malcolm once again, but I'll give y'all like a debaucherous story a little bit. I was definitely in probably the weirder period of my life where I was being a little OD. Like, I was doing a lot, let's be honest. Like, I was definitely doing a lot I shouldn't have been doing as a kid from the burbs, but I was in a lot of despicable situations, a lot of questionable situations. I definitely don't want to speak on too much with
all right, I'm good.
Hold on, what are the statute of limitations on some of these things? But anyways, like during those times, cruising in the whip, like I just remember, well, I don't even have the car anymore, so I could definitely talk on it. But during the times, like my car was the safety car, I would say.
Because be careful what you say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And because at the end of the day, it was like a mom car-y fucking 4-door sedan, right? Like some fucking Toyota Camry. And I just remember like always driving around, and no matter what we were getting into, no matter what kind of trouble, no matter where we were, like at some point of the day after that Faces album, the Faces mixtape came out, dog, Faces was always on at some point of the day, bro. We could be listening to the most gutter gangster shit. We could be listening to just like bars, like flippity, skippity, blah, blah, blah.
Lyrical,
we could be listening to R&B. Yeah. We could be listening to whatever. But at some point during the fucking day, no matter who I was with, the most hood niggas or the most white people, there was always songs from fucking Faces that would come on every single fucking day of that summer. And it's something I'll never forget too, just because of the fact that during that period, I won't even just say summer, but it's just like that Faces project. Like I've already given the anecdote of sitting in front of our parents' garage, like smoking cigarettes, listening to New Faces V2 back when I was a debaucherous human. Healthy, changed life. But like that mixtape is hard for me to speak on only because of the sheer fact that, like, to be quite honest with you, it took me 2 years now because of the fact that the emotion that album, like that mixtape, sorry, like captured for me was such a broad range, right? It's like it captured me at genuinely some of my lowest points in my life, like points in my life that will forever be, not forever be, well, yeah, will forever be stuck to those songs, right? It captures some of the happiest moments that I had, like truly, not ever, because I'm somebody that fortunately life has only gotten better. You know what I'm saying? Like you like through the ups and the downs, I always find better days, and I'm happy to not look back at my past and have my best days ever. But like some of the happiest moments that I can think of off the top of my head, instantly associate with that album album mixtape, whatever, y'all get it at this point. And so, New Faces V2 was such an important song to me because of that moment that I had. That genuinely, I almost had to be in a certain mood to only listen to that song after he passed, right? And the rest of the tape on everything, like Mac's discography, like other than the day after he passed, I listened to nothing but his discography, crying like a baby. And it's been damn near 2 years, and it's been hard to crack into a lot of those albums, but I finally gotten to a point where I feel like I can listen to the music again and kind of reopen those emotions, reopen those feelings, because even accepting the fact that he's not coming back, you know? And so, yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit there, I guess, of just like the emotion behind what that man personally meant to me, like music wise. And so just like not to get sad, not to get like too somber, because I definitely felt myself getting a little emotional there. But it's like, it's just more moving into a celebration, because at the end of the day, that's something that I've been focusing on a lot now too. Because even stuff, like we all have stuff we have a sad association to, right?
Yeah.
I've been taking all of those things, whether they been TV shows I thought I would never watch again. Now I just watch with different people, watch by myself. You know, I've just made it happy. Right. Yeah. And I've been trying to do that with Mac's music, and it's been working really. As of late,
it into a different headspace.
It's been like I'm in a good headspace. I'm happy. So I've been listening to the shit out of Faces these past few weeks, just kind of ironically, like almost forgetting that the anniversary is coming up till the day came. And then it hit me. It was just like, ironically kind of changing those memories into positive memories. Right. Yeah. And then reclaiming them for myself. Right. And taking them away from the power they may have had being involved with other people sometimes even. Right. And that was beautiful to me. So it may not have been like a specific moment, but definitely want to thank him again.
Well, it might not have been like a day, you know, or an hour, but it was a moment. It was an age. It was a period, you know. And so I feel like that is true to like what we were trying to encapsulate here. And you were able to kind of put that out there. So I feel you, man. Shouts out to that. And like the fact that these memories are kind of ingrained. And it's just nice knowing that the thing about me, and I realized recently when it comes to art, at least what I interpret the meaning of art to be and like how I take it in. As the years go on and you grow and you live, there's so many memories that you begin to harbor that you end up forgetting or just get put to the wayside, and so many things that aren't on your current, like a part of your current mental, right? But this is just like when I was driving Uzama back home the other day and listening to classical or listening to rap in like certain places. The thing about art is it provokes an emotion, it provokes a feeling, provokes certain thoughts, certain like, it almost plays on the senses and creates this kind of like environment where you end up remembering certain periods of your life. And art to me is the one thing, like no matter what, art is the ability to never forget. And so, especially when there's important individuals that you could tie to music like that, it's beautiful because inherently, while listening to those songs and remembering moments and things like that, you end up never forgetting these people. So
exactly,
that's what it is to me.
Ingrained in history forever. And that's what your art is. I mean, shit, even on a smaller tip, just to give us our, and I say smaller tip, one day, hopefully the feelings that we have gotten from someone like a Mac, right? That we're able to give people those feelings, right? Through the art that we offer, right? Because at the end of the day, like even what we do is art. It's a form. Just because like not everybody, because I've seen a lot of you new podcasters, you know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about consistency. We talk about, and I mean, I do want everybody to win, so I don't want to sound like some hater shit, but this is really just some, like, it's not as easy as it seems, right?
Mhm.
It's not as easy as it seems to sit down here and offer a piece of yourself every single week while keeping ongoing conversation for an hour plus, right? And so we've kind of gotten decent at it, and we can only get better as the weeks go by. And so we've kind of just jumped into the art form and accepted that too. And we kind of have been trying to make every one of these special in a way that we offer a piece of ourselves to the younger generation or to people that may listen and may need this, need to hear these words. So I like what you said about art for real, because it captures people forever. Because what we put on this planet, like what you basically are trying to go for, at least when it comes to people like us, is your long-lasting imprint, right? Mm-hmm. And so like these can get one play, right? Like, and nobody can listen to it now, like whatever. We could have no audience, we could have no fans. But somebody 100 years from now may randomly stumble into something that changes their life. And that's the beauty of art. Like, you could find hidden gems, like you could find popular things, you could find this, you could find that. It just depends on the type of person. Like, seeing some of the countries and like random places that we get plays from, and we don't even get hella plays. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and flex, I promise you. But like the random in like different areas, like that shit is so beautiful.
I was thinking about it. Clearly, y'all know, and you can probably guess where we stand on certain viewpoints with certain political affairs and things that are happening at times. And I think we may have talked on it, so I'm not going to go too much today. But there are certain podcasts, I think we brought up the protests in Hong Kong, right? And so I was talking to a friend about it, like off the podcast, obviously, and we were just having this conversation. Mm-hmm. And right after I was done with having that conversation with a friend, because it was something that's important to me, and I was talking to him at the time because we're seeing it reminiscent here, and we're seeing it all over. Just, people's rights being infringed upon, and like the basic rights endowed to them just by being human beings. Like, these are basic human rights. And so I was looking up our analytics and stuff, and I saw listeners in China. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, please let this touch the right person. Please let it, even if it's one person who's not going to do shit to change it. Just, I hope that I'm able to spread what I think on these things and kind of communicate and touch a listener all the way across the world on an issue that's near and dear to them.
And that's the beauty of it. You never know. Like, putting things out on these platforms, you truly never know who's going to watch. Like, I be talking crazy on here sexually sometimes. And like, and one day my grandma might hit me with like a FaceTime call. I'll be like, damn, nigga, in Nigeria, like somebody told you about this. Oh my God, I would have a heart attack. I need to chill though. Shouts out to my Mo Giddy, the GOAT. But like, not straying too far, I think we definitely did. We did well for sure on like the side conversation, to the point that low key I don't even want to like talk about some of these certain things because I don't care about them that much. But just certain things that I did want to bring up, just like while we keep it music, I wanted to give a good while we keep it music a little bit, I wanted to give a big shout out to BTS. BTS is a big, as everyone knows, like K-pop band, the biggest in the world, like band-wise at the moment, right? And
you haven't seen, first off, America's never seen boy bands like this.
No, for sure. They're factories over there, and they get it right.
Creating stars.
And so, like, I want to give a big shout out to them for cracking the Billboard Hot 100 in America, but not just cracking it, for getting the #1 song. And that's big for international acts because it shows that it's free food over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the wild, wild west. Like, if you go hard enough and you work hard enough and you get big enough, right, and you could appeal to everyone, that you can't even dominate across the world in a place like America, right? And so the fact that they were able to debut with the #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100, once again, shout out to BTS. That's beautiful to me.
You know what it reminds me of? And I feel like, did you ever watch Beck, the anime?
No.
Did you know the preface? It was like this dude trying to become like a guitarist and join a band and like make it in America. It feels like that moment, I don't know like how international people are, but I feel like everyone, no matter what they say about what they think about America, I know our president's a shithead right now. The state of the country's shaky, but America's still dope in certain ways, and people want to make it in America for entertainment. So I'm sure that probably meant a lot to them too, even though they're fucking megastars in their own right all over.
Because that's being like at least how music is currently structured. And that's why I keep bringing up these international acts, whether I talk about African artists, whether I talk about Asian artists, whether I talk about European artists, or whether I talk about Latin artists, which you can check and please call out my pimping, because Esgo can attest to it. Every single time something prominent internationally happens music-wise, I speak about it on this platform.
Or we try to. Sometimes we try to.
But it's like, it's because it's important to me that you realize, like, with how music is structured, and people will tell you all the time, like even Stormzy was talking about it on an interview, like he can't walk outside in the UK, right? But he could walk around in a place like New York and there's people that don't know who he is, don't recognize him. And you don't really feel like you've made it in music all the way until you're recognized over here, because this is where the popularity is. This is where the influence is when it comes to music.
When it comes to influencers in general, like the biggest like entertainment stars, whether they be like the traditional media Hollywood types or like shit, even like YouTubers and stuff, all pretty much exist. Not all, but the biggest ones exist in America.
And so, like, once again, I love that and I love seeing it. Just to get our jokes off a little bit and talk about some funny shit though. Like, one, I wanna give an apology to our fans, and I want to give an apology to the people that may be watching.
It might just be a Chuka thing here.
No, it is just a Chuka thing.
Okay.
I fell into the trap.
Ah, God. I hate what you...
I gave up fast food.
Oh.
And I started losing weight and looking great again. Look swelly, by the way. Stomach on flat. We're working. Trust me. I was getting a little chubby again. Like, we back, just toning up. That being said, I said, you know what? Let's get a little cheat day going. You know what I'm saying? My nigga Travis, shouts out, big deal with the McDonald's. Let's go try the Travis Scott burger, bro.
You played yourself.
I went to McDonald's. I even told my roommate I was leaving the crib. I was like, my nigga, I'm going to pick up the Travis Scott. You hear me? Like, you need anything? And in my mind, I somehow made it an event in my head to the point that I forgot I was going to get McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I went and I got it, and I came back and ate it, and I was like... damn.
The disappointment was finally sinking in because he realized
this shit mid. Yeah, I was like, this shit mid as hell. The best part was the Sprite. And that's because I'm a loony and like the lava that is fucking McDonald's.
It's too much. Bro, I think the only reason you didn't enjoy it is because I don't think they actually gave you the Travis Scott. And know why I think that? How did you order it? Did you order it or it's like singing sicko mode?
No.
Or did you say like, you already know why I'm here?
No.
So they didn't give you the right shit. They said, oh, this guy's not even a fan. I'm going to give him
I didn't get the action figure too?
They gave you the Rocky.
Got the action figure.
They gave you the Rocky, bro. They didn't give you the Travis Scott.
Damn, I got the Rocky?
You hate
I got the Only Hot in 2012? No, let me stop. That nigga's a fly nigga. I don't want to sound like a hater. I wish we got
to sound like a hater at all, but there was plenty of jokes that could have been just made right there. Let it be known that we held ourselves back because we do respect A$AP Rocky.
No, respect the shit out of him. I really want to meet Ace. I really want to meet Rocky one day, like for real, because that nigga seems like a cool ass dude. It's just me selfishly as a fan want more of the music I like from him, but obviously you're not going to tell an artist what to do.
Yeah.
So one, I would say never go eat the Cactus Jack Travis Scott collab. Actually,
don't say that. Actually, it wasn't made for you. No, you're old as fuck. Let kids enjoy it.
That's what I was about to say. People my age and older that are curious, please go do it because you're supporting a campaign that is spearheaded by a black man. That being said, I want to let y'all know y'all have to please keep in mind the fact that you are going to McDonald's at the end of the day.
And you're going to get McDonald's.
And you're getting some McDonald's.
You're getting What was it? Wasn't it like a quarter pounder with bacon?
Yeah, a quarter pounder basically with bacon. But bro, it tasted like a worse quarter pounder, bro. It didn't even taste like they gave us the good quarter pounder.
They tried to make the fries sound like they were going to be something different, but they're just regular fries.
No, they're just regular fries. They're just regular medium fries.
So they just threw his name on a meal and added bacon.
For sure.
I'm with it though. You know what?
I'm with it. We support it, whatever. And then another thing that happened in the world of black people, and of course, I'm very happy to celebrate and support. Like I said earlier, I'm not a hater. I know I'm not fake. So I celebrate and I support things that I fuck with. I need somebody to go into a TV show. Get a hypnotist, a real hypnotist, not one of those fake shits that they try to advertise out here.
I know a guy.
And I need them to pull the hypnotist out, bring them to Virgil Abloh's house, and I need them to tell that nigga to only make shoes.
Let's talk about something.
Because he's like how the white people try to tell athletes to shut up and dribble? Like, I wish he would shut up and make shoes.
The world needs to tell not even
Am I Maga Chuka?
I'm not even going to say make shoes. The world needs to tell Virgil to shut up and keep collabing with Nike. Because his shoes, the regular OffWhite shoes, kind of mid. And I'm not trying to knock his hustle because he is a young black man.
So we can give them a little bit of backstory on it, though. He has a G-Wagon collab that is Dati. It's a Dati look.
Y'all will never be able to see this, but
I just put it on the screen.
I'm about to say you gotta edit it over the phone going no, but genuinely speaking, I don't know. Like I'm gonna give my first thoughts on it after I saw the car. Doing a G-Wagon, but with Off-White was kind of off because I don't know who you're really marketing for. It looks like the design of it
kind of off.
Yeah, man, it was very off. But
I'm sorry.
I think it was made for YouTubers and influencers and hypebeasts and people that would really buy it off the just cloud aspect because it didn't seem like it was made for the traditional group that are trying to consume that car. Nor does it look like it had any added features or any aesthetics that suit those. The inside, like the little race car like seatbelt was weird. I don't know. I know they got like powerful engines, but it's still G-Wagon. Like, what are you gonna really be doing that you need that shit? And there's a impending lawsuit for sure. Those Goodyear tires, I know they did not work with Goodyear on them, and they basically bit that whole design and flow. So, whoever they're about to get charged,
bro. Them niggas put nets on the windows, bro. Them niggas gave you a fucking like arcade controller as your steering wheel, bro.
Like what?
These niggas turned a G-Wagon into a fucking box car. Like it really looked like one of the fucking cubes. You know what I'm saying? Like I would be so sad if my nigga pulled up in that because I know the reason my nigga would pull up in something like that would be if he had his Off-Whites on, he had a little chain with a lock and key on it. You know, and he was one of those hype beast niggas. And really, I need to stop saying my nigga. You know why? Because that's probably not one of my homies that's buying some shit like that. That's weird, bro. Nobody should clout chase like that.
I'm gonna say this: the car didn't look too bad.
No,
it didn't look too bad if I was gonna go driving like Super Mario World. The car just didn't seem like it was made for anybody on Earth. But you know, I'm not going to name drop certain individuals, but you know the kind of people that are about to buy this.
For sure. The super hype beast. Like, he does a great job, to be completely honest with you. And I hope to have a conversation with Virgil one day, because I hope to get to the bottom of this. Because I think I have the scoop in my head. I've already created my own scenario, and I hope my scenario is the real scenario. Because like I think he's figured out that he can sell anything to these little white kids with money because they're gonna make their parents purchase it regardless, right? And then the hype beasts that are the evolution of them, which is like the white dudes with like the fucking with like the fuckboy haircut as they call it, the LA types that have to have
like the YouTuber type,
yeah,
like
the YouTuber type,
TikTokers.
Jake
that's
Paul's gonna get one of these. Jake Paul's gonna get one of these.
And then when people see him with it, his friends are gonna buy them, and then all of a sudden they made their money back and they did what they were trying to.
So, and I really think he's just getting the easiest bag possible. Like he realizes it's just the easiest bag of all time.
I wasn't gonna name drop, but you already hit the audience. I think he made it for.
And so, like, definitely, like, shouts out to Virgil, actually. I started this off with hate, but let me end with love. Like, really, I think he's a master genius. Like, he realizes that the only things that black people are actually purchasing him are the shoes, so he keeps them fire. And so he just does whatever with anything else and just gets paid. So, I mean, like, get into a check, my nigga. Shouts out to Virgil.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to knock a young man trying to get his money, but, you know, when you're making something that's for me, let's do it a little bit better. But, yeah.
But other than that,
sponsor us.
Sponsor us, OffWhite.
As we shit on them for like 5 minutes straight.
Sponsor us.
All right.
Yeah. Get the get. But the other thing that we wanted to speak on involving music, and it involves music none actually.
At all. Just a person.
It's just going to actually take us right into our sports section.
Let me say this.
Actually,
I want to say this. What? You see?
No, go hard.
Okay, look. This individual, I'm almost jealous of.
He hit the lottery, nigga.
He hit the lottery, and he did what I was trying to do way before me. And I don't want to, take away a young man's shine because he's doing something because I'm jealous myself. I am jealous. What am I supposed to be? Cordae bag Naomi Osaka.
What? Beautiful black queen.
Tennis extraordinaire.
Tennis extraordinaire. Taking the
US Open.
The young princess that is working to grab and join. I won't even say take the crown from, because you can never take the crown from arguably the greatest athlete in history, man or woman, Serena Williams. So Serena Williams is the queen, the goddess when it comes to this, right? Naomi Osaka. Looking like the next queen that's going to join the Hall of Famers, join the list of legends.
22 years young.
Going to join the Mount Rushmore for tennis all-stars, just like Serena is leading all of them.
Cool ass girl, repping
cool.
Everything that matters right now, wearing face masks with many of fallen people to police brutality.
Which goes exactly into what I was saying as well. Every single week, it always be the woman bucking back because these niggas, I love what they try to do, don't get me wrong, but Naomi's just started bucking immediately. Like she instantly came in, y'all know what I'm here for, got the face mask on, got the names of people that have fallen to this police brutality bullshit, and it's just, and have unjustly died, but I love what she stands for. I love the way she carries herself. I love the fact that I won't say precious from family. I don't know their family situation, so I won't go into it. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah,
I did hear, and it's nothing for us, but did see rumblings or something with like her trying to appease to, or not her trying to appease to, but people wanting her to appease more to her Japanese side, right? And things like that. And she seems like somebody that lets you know that she is painfully aware of the fact that she is Japanese and black, but lets you truly know through these times that she's a black woman.
Bro, like her
will not let you
last
forget
name
she's a
at
black
the end
woman.
of the day is a Japanese name. Like for namesake, when you see the champions, like when you see like the trophies, when you see like who won these things, you're gonna see a Japanese person. But at the end of the day, she's just making it sure that people understand she's black too. And it's really cool. And Cordae, you got lucky, dude. You got lucky the Offspace didn't blow you and they didn't let me into the US Open.
No, we love you, Cordae. Shouts out
All
to
jokes
Young
aside,
King. Shouts out to
and I'm
Young
happy
Killer.
for y'all. I really hope y'all thrive and prosper because there's some young, great black individuals who look like they're just on a path for greatness. So
Young love.
I'm happy to see it.
Oh, if I was Cordae,
That
bro,
nigga looks so happy, bro.
I would be
He
so
looks so
happy
happy.
too. My queen is the 2-time US Open winning champion at 22 years old. What? You know how bright her future is? Brighter than that lighting on my fucking face right now, nigga. I promise you, we are good. Like, I'm telling you, I'd be at home. I'd be at home cooking dinners. I'd be watching the kids. I'd be like, baby, like, food's ready. Like, I'd be ready to massage her feet.
It's disappointing, bro.
You know what I'm
Last girl
saying?
I was into didn't know how to spell yacht. All right, that's me.
Damn.
I don't know how to spell yacht. I'm clown.
Bro, I'd be sucking her toes. I don't even like feet like that. I do whatever Naomi wanted me to.
What you want me to say here, dog?
If I found a young queen like that, obviously that's that man's queen, so I definitely don't want to seem like I'm infringing on the relationship, trust me. But he found a super gem. And I'm very happy for Cordae, so this is a big shout out from the Offspace to Cordae. Oh my God. Wow. But the last bit of...
I feel like I was that dude who was making excuses for why he didn't make it to the league. If my ankle wasn't fucked up, bro, if my ACL didn't give out, dog.
This nigga hilarious. But one thing I did want to say, just so people don't think we're skipping it, because it's painfully obvious, once again, that it was a big part of the week, is we want to give a shout out to all of the people that were involved or affected by 9/11, the massive tragedy that happened in the United States and seems to be the Keystone's tragedy that we talk about on the day-to-day. That being said, we are going to have a separate video starting a conversation that I think is very important. And as Go said, he's just going to go ahead and kind of clear the lane, throw the assist on this one, and tell me to go ahead and dunk that one. And starting the conversation on not taking away from the importance and taking away from the tragedy that is 9/11, but I'm going to save it for more of the video, but more talking about some of the long-lasting facts and hoping that...
And effects that people don't want to address.
That people don't want to really address and talk about, and kind of bringing it around in terms of how unified America was at that very second.
Yeah.
Wishing that we could take that and stretch it into other areas, because if we did... I've said it here many times, and I'll say it again. I love this fucking country. I really do. And I very, very much want us to be the best country in the world. And I think it would be the easiest thing on the planet for us to truly become the best country in the world. Like, one of the easiest. Like, I'm saying like a month max. If we just started actually caring about each other and, like, taking care of these things. But I'll save that for the video, and I'll save the anecdotes, the reasonings.
I have a good metaphor, but, you know, I'm going to let Chuka handle that one. I'm just saying, like, I do want to give a piece, though, because we are talking about 9/11.
Of course, go hard. You said you were throwing me the oops, so go hard here.
I want to say that, again, big, like, we recognize you and we support you and we feel you, everybody who is affected and family members that are living without loved ones that they lost to that tragedy, you know. And the unity that came after, I know a lot of people in this day and age look back like, fuck, I wish the country was at a point like where people were that unified in the US, but I feel like that unity was essentially glue and that kind of taped us together for like a second, but that glue could only last for so long because there were so many more issues that needed to be dealt with to have a truly unified people. So I'm not going to take away how that unified people, because it definitely did, but there's more work to be done, and we're gonna have to do it the right way from here.
Always work to be done, and we hope to be a part of that conversation.
But without further ado, we getting into the rest of the motherfucking podcast.
Yes, sirski. And shit. One thing I wanted to mention too while we were on this tip that is important to me is California actually did the right thing, which, as you guys have known, California stays on fire, it seems like.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna lie to you, like
this whole situation was up in smoke, man.
But there's not.
I'm sorry, that's fucked. But like,
while we're young, and if we were to blow or something like that, like maybe give me like a year or two in like a Cali or an LA or something like that.
Yeah.
But like,
it doesn't seem like the place to live because the environment just seems like it's going crazy
disconnected
with it right now.
Yeah, but it seems like it's just like place of natural disaster. Like there's always the earthquakes, the fires, like all of the stuff we hear about, like it detaching from the country at one point.
I mean,
like,
shit, the Pacific is like the most crazy ocean itself. That's always has crazy things going on. So that's what you border. You know what I'm saying? You got surfers going out there.
I'm saying like I told you, and I've told Esco many times, bro. I would do like a year, maybe a 2-year stint, bro. There's not enough IG honeys and good weather like people talk about out there for me to go live out there for a long time because that place just seems scary.
Dude, I feel so bad
in
for the people who live there right now and have been being devastated by all these fires because just all I'm seeing is what the media and Twitter and different things like that give me because at the end of the day, I live in fucking Georgia. Like, this is Metro Atlanta right now. I'm in Atlanta, but I live Metro Atlanta. So at the end of the day, I'm just going off what I see. And it's got to be the scariest thing to have your sky just, like, painted orange from, like, the blazes and everything. To see a tornado of fire happening in front of you, like, I can't imagine what people are going through knowing that they're never going back to their homes.
And my home
knowing that their areas all around them are burned to cinders and all these things are really happening that are just devastating them.
And my homegirl, like, she just got back to the A from LA, right? And she was out there. She was talking about, like, how it's kind of just, like, undermined how crazy it is out there. She said she was talking about shit like, it was so hot. Like, it was, like, 110 plus at all times, right, in those areas, right? She said it was so hot that your sweat would evaporate from your body as it was created. Like she said, it was just like a situation that was unreal, like that she was never seen before because none of us have seen shit like this before. But not dwelling too much on the fires, obviously prayers and condolences out to anybody that may have lost someone or may be dealing with anything from these fires. But a positive thing did come from this situation, something that is long overdue. Governor, at least long overdue on a federal level, because this should be the whole United States. But as we know with the prison system, and we've already talked about the slavery that is the prison system, but they have inmate firefighters, right? And so they let you earn money, like really few dollars a day, working like long shifts.
Dollars might be a stretch.
Yeah, but it's like
because it might be even less.
But it's working like a whole ass shift, fighting fires and doing shit that people are making a good living and a salary off of. And some motherfuckers will do it for years in prison, right? And be prison firefighters, so that cheap firefighters, basically, right? Like that cost them nothing. And they'll come out into regular society, and because they were felons, it doesn't matter if they have now 5-10 years of experience as a firefighter, right? They're not allowed to get those jobs because of their felonies. And so Governor Newsom signed a law allowing inmate firefighters in California to have records expunged, clearing the way for them to become professional firefighters once they're released from prison, which is one of the most beautiful things I've seen. Like, and I
don't want to give a lot of credit, because I know we said something here, like the Governor Newsom will kind of put this into effect. And I don't want to give that man too much credit because I feel like I still be to be determined on his character and things like that. I feel like a bunch of people probably put pressure on this, but I just am happy that we're seeing that change made. But
yeah, exactly. Like it's just a happy thing for that change to be made in the first place. But like we've said like many times on this podcast, I don't like dancing, singing, and like clapping for niggas that are doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And so like, as I do give credit and I'm happy that it's finally happening, we need to do this across the United States for many different fields of people that are working their ass off while behind bars just so they can get 8 hours of sunlight a day, just so that they can smell fresh air every day, just so that they can, you know, maybe get a glimpse of their family that might catch them on that highway or be near that fire, etc. Like whatever it is, like these people are working their asses off. They may have made a mistake in their past, whatever it may be, and however you may view those laws. But it should not be as difficult as it is for felons, especially nonviolent felons, to be able to rejoin society and get regular jobs. Because what do you expect somebody to do if they can't work once they get out? get back to a life
and if
of
they
crime.
have children, if they have people that they care about, they're going to go back to what they have to do to be able to like provide for their family. The way I see it, if, you know, obviously I think our prison system is bullshit entirely, but, you know, just playing into what people say it should be. If our prison system's here to reform individuals and make them into productive members of society, then how come after they serve their term and go through the hellish experience, not hellish, the hell experience that is hell of being incarcerated and being in prison, how come afterwards on job applications you have to put that you're a felon?
Exactly.
Like why can't you just be treated like a regular person if you made it out? Like there should be no ties to your past if you already served your, if you already did your time and served it. If people really want to know at that point for like very specific cases, I get that. But the bare minimum job, you shouldn't have to do it if you're applying for a job at like McDonald's.
Especially at a bare minimum, just like non-violent offenders. You know what I'm saying? Like I think everybody that does their time should, that's the trade-off. You feel me? Like your time is done, time to become a regular person again. But that being said, it's like at a bare minimum, people that are non-violent offenders should be able to get regular jobs again. Because you have just as many crackheads that are locked up for the rest of their lives, right? And because of like, once again, just like doing and having drugs like that, you have just as many executives at these big companies that are just as big crackheads. It's just after hours, you know, if we want to keep it being.
It's just cocaine.
It's just like, keep it a bean, and it's different various drugs. These niggas be being OD a lot of the times, but we don't get caught for it because those are important people. Those are people that hold these jobs. Those are people that do that.
You know, these people have been in this, family ties, blah, blah, blah. You know, same old story that they try and sell you.
So we'll save that for another time because obviously we're going to keep speaking on that stuff whenever we feel passionate, whenever we feel like talking on this kind of stuff. But just wanted to, once again, highlight that event happening in California because it is very, very important. And hopefully it leads to the rest of the United States following suit with similar laws that are going to allow these people to be able to rejoin society in a more helpful, in a more positive way.
Yeah.
And so moving right along, the last thing I had was just giving a shout out to Madden for one, for yes, it's the bare minimum, but the reason I want to actually applaud them is they did come back and admit they fucked up and they were idiots for even censoring the Big Sean song that he had Cap's name in the 2016 Madden, which we don't forget, that was still some fuck nigga shit, and for taking him out of the game completely. So they've just given Cap another opportunity. They've put him back into the video games, which they pay these athletes to put them in the games, which is something that Charles Barkley was even talking about with 2K. So I'm happy that A, he's getting money, but B, he's hopefully getting a bigger share because he's going to be the face and reason a lot of people buy Madden this year. Like, there's a lot of niggas that don't play Madden. They're going to end up buying Caps in it.
Yeah.
You know? And then C is just like having more of the conversation around Cap. But one thing that led for me is just like, I'm happy with everything Madden's doing. I'm happy they're putting him in as a free agent that you can use in the game, and that's dope. The NFL, bro. Like, the NFL has end racism on the side. People are kneeling now. People are doing all these things. They say they're not vindicating people. I know y'all are prideful, and I know the most prideful people in the United States are the old white people that fucked everything up in the first place.
Yeah.
But you know how easy it is to, instead of trying to just walk back everything without saying I'm sorry. This is something my mom taught me as a kid, right? Because I'm a huge prideful motherfucker. Like, I'm 26 now. You can ask this man. It probably took me till at least 23, 24 to start actually apologizing for shit. Like, just being real. Like, it took a long time. I'm a prideful motherfucker. And so one thing I noticed about life is it's so much easier when you can, A, start off with I'm sorry, and then start putting in action to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
If these niggas just apologized to Cap publicly, gave him a real opportunity to get his job back, not the bullshit smoke and mirrors that start all these arguments online, like the little high school arena tryout they were trying to give my nigga. No, like a real opportunity, and then he makes a team or doesn't make a team, whatever, that's different. But there's an obvious blackballing going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, people have just known that, though. I feel like what we're seeing with Kaepernick, almost even still to this day, it makes it hard to watch the NFL. I know today was like, you know, the first day of it being back and everything. And to be fair, I wasn't going to watch. But I'm going to say this. That boy Joe Burrow is playing. And at the end of the day, that's an LSU legend. I had to support the dog one time.
Dog season. NFL already tried to help my nigga.
And look, I don't feel bad about it because I'm going to watch that game. Do I support the NFL? No. You've heard us say fuck the NFL a million times on this podcast.
Except for the Bengals. We love y'all. Who they?
The Saints, you know, I'm riding for the team a little bit.
Y'all got to prove it to me. Y'all are fighting for us.
But past that, you see, again, like the 4 approved things that they can use, like phrases for like their jerseys or whatever. They're able to put certain individuals' names on their helmets. Now, I saw Breonna Taylor on an individual's helmet during that game on a Charger players. Like you see the end racism, you see whatever. But it's tough to see these things knowing that for so long, but they tried to really take a man's livelihood from him in Kaepernick for him standing up for what he believes in and trying to raise, not even trying to physically incite violence to draw attention to a cause, but the man was so peacefully trying to bring awareness to shit that was fucking him up because his people, our people, black people are being taken advantage of in America. And people were just like, nah, we're not doing it. We don't care. Like, you can't care about individuals that could be controversial because we're not doing it. It's the NFL. Like, that's so fucked that this is okay now. And they still try to take his livelihood from him and haven't made amends for it. So it's going to be tough to watch the rest of the season, especially in a time when, again, we're in a pandemic. There's been so much of a spotlight shining on like injustices going on in the country, you know? And so I hope that this is kind of in this time period as they're bringing these games back. I know just like the NBA, this has been an ongoing effort and things that they've had to kind of change and address as the season or the playoffs and whatnot were going on, right? In the bubble of trying to make adjustments to what they should and shouldn't do. At some point during this season, I expect the NFL to set up a deal on how to compensate or at least undo some of the damages they did not only to Kaepernick's reputation in the white community, but to the financial loss that he had purely off of his NFL salaries and things that he would have gotten from contracts. Because I know elsewhere Kaepernick was able to get money and kind of be taken care of from people who were advocating for the same causes as him and trying to uplift him and give him an opportunity to still be there. But the NFL owes him something.
And so, like, just like the main shit with this is, yeah, it's dope. Yeah, it's cool. But going back to what Kyrie was saying about not starting sports and just being real, because a lot of people have realized that Kyrie was telling the truth because it's exactly happening like he called it. A lot of this shit is performative until we do the right thing. And it's hard for y'all to do the right thing, at least in this case, without at least starting by apologizing and doing right by the person that started this whole fucking movement in sports. But with that being said, we will speak more on NBA stuff probably like in the coming week or whatever. Huh?
What?
No, I was going to say we would speak more on the NBA stuff probably in the coming week just because like...
I got you. I mean, this man, you could just say it. You could just say what you want, bro.
What? No, I mean...
You could just say the fact that you don't like Joker. You could just say the fact that you don't like Jokic.
No, I love Jokic.
You could just say the fact that you don't want to give this man his props.
No, Jokic is the only like European out of the two, which was Jokic and the French fraud, which I won't even say his name, that they tried so hard to sell us to for that 1 year. It was like 2 years ago, and that shit was mad annoying. Jokic deserves it all. That man is a mega superstar and definitely deserves his flowers when it comes to this. I love that the Denver Nuggets have fought back, and now we're going to watch a Game 7 on Tuesday, actually, between them and the Clippers, which I'm very interested to see. And one of the best games of the playoffs so far happened to be the Game 7 between Boston and Toronto,
which we will dive into a little bit deeper on the next episode because these Game 7s have been something spectacular. But it is about time we wrap up for this week. If y'all have made it this far, make sure that you do follow us, subscribe, whatever it is, to where you are staying tuned every week for the new episodes and new drops that we are. Again, we are on Anchor now, and we've been distributed to so many different platforms. So if you're hearing this on a platform, but you'd rather listen to it on Google Podcasts, we're there now. Breaker, we're there now. Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, we've always been. But again, tune in and check out your boys.
For surely. And once again, we are everywhere. And make sure to pay attention to the flood coming this week because we're going to have a decent amount of videos going out. So subscribe to our YouTube. Check out both reflection rooms that are up. Check out past episodes. By the time this is dropped, you guys are going to get the video from last week. And within a few days, we're going to have this video.
Yes, sir.
This audio that y'all are currently listening to.
Yes, sir.
But once again, we're happy to be here. Happy to keep going. Happy to keep giving y'all the best content on the motherfucking internet. Don't care who says otherwise. Baptize. With that being said, my name is Chuka.
My name is Ozio.
And this is the Offspace. Yes, sir, Ski.
Let's get it.